Oh, hello. Thanks for watching my video. So, I'm going to be answering the questions that you guys submitted to me over the last week. Thank you so much for sending your questions in. Well, commenting them. You didn't really send them anywhere, but I really appreciate it. So in this video, I'm going to be answering your questions. I'm going to try and answer as many as I can. I'm sorry if you left a question and it's not been answered. The only reason why that might happen would only be if someone asked a question that was the same or similar. So, and before we get into it, obviously we got the new kit, didn't we, the other day? Courtyard stuff. So I thought I'd do a little bit of a build of a restaurant using the new kit, just so you guys can take a look at what we get with it. I quite like this kit. I was impressed. Very impressed. Okay, let's get on with it. Question number 1. How did you get your channel name? Really not an interesting story. I decided to start a YouTube channel. It was around Christmas the year before last, and then I think I actually started this channel in January, and it was I had already recorded a video ready to upload, and then at that point I was like, oh shit, I should probably think of a channel, and I literally just went with the very first name I thought of, which in hindsight I kind of wish I hadn't done, because it's kind of a negative name really, isn't it? Whiny Brit. And I don't think I'm really that whiny. Or maybe that's a question for you guys to answer, if you think if I whine a lot. I mean, I don't mind if I do. Gives me an edge. How old were you when you moved to America, and what made you move to America? I've only been in America. I've only been living here for about a year and a half. It'll be 2 years come October. We moved because my husband's job offered him a transfer to the States, and it was originally going to be California. But sometimes with big moves like that, sometimes it just doesn't work out. So we didn't go to California in the end. And at the time, I was like, okay, we can move to America, and I'll go anywhere except Texas, which is where we live. But I'm actually really glad we ended up moving to Texas, because the ideas that I had about what Texas was like, you know, I thought it was going to be cowboys and a little bit of ignorance, and I couldn't have been more wrong, really. I mean, I'm sure there are places like that in Texas, like there are everywhere, but yeah, I'm really glad we ended up moving to Texas, because it helped me realise that I was wrong about my initial thoughts of what Texas was all about. The biggest culture shock after moving to America, and the first in-person experience of how Americans are. The biggest culture shock is probably what I would describe rather extreme personalities. Not most, but a lot of Americans that I've met or spoken with are generally very chirpy, happy, very friendly, much friendlier than a lot of people in the UK. And it's lovely. But when I first moved here, I was so not used to it that I just kind of got it in my head that I just assumed they were all taking the piss. when they were being nice to me, I didn't really know how to take it. So I just, any time an American was genuinely friendly and just being nice, in my head, I just thought, oh, you sarky bastard. So that was the first culture shock, was accepting that people actually are just friendly and they will talk to you just 'cause, you know. First experience with how weird Americans are. Nothing really stands out to me. The main one that I get reoccurring a lot is when I talk to Americans, especially my friends, because we're at a level now where they do like to take the piss a lot, and so they always try and talk to me with what they think is a British accent all the time, but what actually happens is they just end up sounding like some kind of repressed 1800s Victorian chimney sweep, and they look at me with these eyes as if to be like, yeah, it's a good accent, right? And I've yet to have one of my friends do an accent that actually sounds like an English accent. Most of them, they travel back in time, and I'll just be talking, you know, like normal, like this, and they'll be talking back to me like, oh, howdy, governor, you know. So that's one thing that I thought was pretty funny, is a lot of Americans, they try and do a British accent when they're talking to me. Or sometimes, you know, they'll just repeat back exactly what I said, but in a British accent. for no real reason, I suppose. But I don't mind. Who would you bring back from the dead and why? Oh, I think it's a toss-up between Bowie and Dolores O'Riordan. Mainly because I'd like to try my luck at a one-night stand with either of them, or both at the same time. I wouldn't be opposed to it. And I've had a couple of people asking me for more stories about my boss, which I'm not surprised about, to be honest. He is quite a character. His latest obsession at the moment is just telling me that everyone is terrible and he's going to fire us all. And then he changes his mind after he's had some lunch. He's also told me that I should always be ladylike in Ubers, because he's an Uber driver and he gets seduced all the time. And then someone's asked what my favourite video is that I made, and then someone else asked what's my favourite series that I've made. So I'm going to try and answer them both at the same time. In terms of which one is my favourite video, I honestly couldn't tell you. I really don't know. I quite like the mod videos. They make me laugh sometimes. Although I hate the sound of my own voice. So usually I'll only ever watch my own videos once when I've edited them and then I upload them. And I generally don't ever revisit them. There are a couple that I've watched since I've uploaded them, just because I do think that I find them funny anyway, and they're usually the ones that involve extreme violence. They make me chuckle, so it's probably going to be one of those. And in terms of my favourite series, you know, it's funny because it was one of my least popular Let's Plays that I've done, but it has to be Dirk. I had so much fun making that series. That was one of my favourite Let's Plays that I did. I think it's because I tend to find that whenever I'm playing with Sims, I typically thrive whenever I'm playing with a Sim who is inherently a very bad person, selfish, corrupt, just nasty. You know, just a nasty piece of work. That's where I thrive. And with Dirk, he kind of, you know, he was a bit of an asshole, but in a really naive and vulnerable way. You know, he was just a college student, just desperate to lose his virginity. So I had a lot of fun playing as Dirk. And I kind of feel like, although I don't want to shit on my other Let's Plays, sometimes I feel like they were a little bit too emotional, a little bit too sentimental. I didn't really do them just for the sake of having a laugh. They were more sort of story-driven. But one thing I am really excited about, which I'm uploading a video on Monday giving a bit more information, is I've decided to do a new Let's Play, which is more of the same kind of tone as Dirk, which is kind of less, not serious, but it's not sentimental. It's definitely not going to be family friendly. It's not going to be as wholesome as some of the other Let's Plays I've done. And if you think they weren't wholesome, this one is a bit more on the extreme end of not being wholesome. So I'm going to put out a little bit more information on that on Monday, because on Monday I'm doing a speed build of one of the sets. Would that be the right word? Of one of the locations for the Let's Play. So I'll go into detail about what that's about on Monday. What is your favourite pack in The Sims 4, and what do you prefer, Alpha or Maxis Match? I really like the gameplay from Seasons, and I love the aesthetics from Snowy Escape. Although, to be honest, with the recent announcement of the new game pack based around home design, that one might take top spot. I'm pretty excited for that one, so I'll probably do a playthrough of that as soon as it comes out. And I prefer Maxis Match when it comes to custom content. I do like the look of Alpha hair, but overall probably Maxis Match, I'd say. Will the Q&A be live or pre-recorded? it's pre-recorded. You started playing The Sims 4 about a year ago or so. So did you take a break between The Sims 3, or were you playing that until recently? Well, no, not really, because when we moved to America, I couldn't work because we moved here for my husband's job, so I had a lot of free time. So I was playing a lot of The Sims 3 that I hadn't really played it for a while. And then my husband was like, hey, The Sims 4 is out. Do you want to get that? And I was like, nah, you're all right. Not interested. And he was like, oh, well, I kind of already bought it for you. So I felt pretty bad. So I started playing it. And then 2 months later, I started this channel, which is why a lot of my earlier videos are really shit, was purely because I didn't know how to play the game. I'd only had it I think I only had maybe 10 hours worth of gameplay when I started the channel. All happened so fast, guys. Just happened so fast. I think it was just because I was unemployed for so long. I just really needed something to do. I'm one of these people where I hate having time that's not productive. So I was like, I have to do something. So I'm just going to build a load of stuff on The Sims. And the Saw Survival House, I don't really know how that would work as a challenge, to be honest, because I used mods to do the deaths. So I think I'd have to be creative with turning that into a challenge. But you never know. Watch this space. What's the best mascara? If I'm going out, then I'll use Benefit. But if I'm going to work, then it will just be Maybelline. And I can't really tell the difference. What is the one thing you wished was in The Sims 4 that is only in The Sims 1, 2 or 3? I didn't really play much of The Sims 1, but based on the other two, storytelling. That's what I would like to see some more of, please. Favourite colour? Look, I know it's boring, alright, but it's just pink. It's just pink. I'm just as unhappy about it as anyone else for being such a fucking cliche, but it is. There we go. Will you do a Sims 2 series? And how are you? Oh, I'm doing very well, thanks, mate. How are you doing? Sims 2 series. Well, I am planning quite a few videos that have a lot of The Sims 2 in them, like clips from The Sims 2, but I'm probably not going to be doing a Sims 2 Let's Play or series, just being honest. Okay, so I've clubbed these two together because they're both asking whether I would play a different game to The Sims. And yes, definitely. I did have a series called Drunk Sundays, which was usually a game other than The Sims, and I enjoyed doing that. And I should be able to do that a little bit more often. It's been harder to do while I've been working because of the time difference, because I like to do that with my buddy Harriet. And she's 6 hours behind, so it was really easy to do Drunk Sundays before I was working because, getting drunk at 12 p.m, no problem. But, now I'm in the office. But yes, absolutely. I would love to be able to do, have maybe a second channel. I want to get into streaming. I still feel like I need to find my feet a little bit more with YouTube, to be honest. And then once I'm comfortable enough, then I probably will start streaming and get up a second channel that is just, other games, because I would love to be able to stream games other than The Sims 2. I really want to do Wolf Among Us 2 when that comes out. I want to do the South Park games because that is right up my street. So, yeah, definitely. Someone asked if I support BLM and the LGBTQ plus community. However, I couldn't find that comment after, so I'm not sure whether it was deleted, but I'd still like to answer it. I 100% am behind Black Lives Matter, and I'm also a very proud member of the LGBTQ plus community as well. So yes and yes, very much so. Is having a YouTube channel something you've always wanted, or did it just kind of happen? I can't say that YouTube is something that I've always wanted, but that's only really because it never really occurred to me that having a YouTube channel was an option. I mean, if you were to ask me a few years ago, what would be the job that I'd always wanted, it would probably be something along the lines of being in the writer's room for a saucy cartoon or something like that. But I found with YouTube that it was something that I started just for a bit of a laugh. I wasn't really expecting to get any views or anything. But the more time's gone on, the more I care about it. And now my channel means a lot to me. So in all honesty, I would say no, it's not something I always wanted, but that was purely down to just a lack of awareness. I just never even really, I didn't even really watch YouTube that much before I moved to America. So I'm sure if I had, then the answer would be yes. I probably would have started a YouTube channel years ago. If you were not doing Sims 4 videos, what would your occupation be? Well, YouTube isn't actually my occupation. As much as I'd love it to be, it's not right now. So I am currently a customer relations manager for a car manufacturing company. Or car manufacturer, could just say that. Okay, so this is a couple of questions in one, so I'm going to break it down a little bit. Do you plan to do other original series similar to the model challenge, such as a full series based off the ideas on random that you seem to get? Yeah, I will. I had it in my head recently that I was going to stop doing Let's Plays, and that lasted all of about 5 minutes before I got an idea to start another one. So I don't think I'll ever stop doing Let's Plays, and I tend to find they go in one of two directions. Either like a goal-based Let's Play, like the brothel challenge or the hooker challenge. I've just noticed a slight sexual theme in those. Anyway, or some kind of storyline-based Let's Play like Struggling Singer or Young Runaway. So yeah, I'm sure I will keep doing those. Do you ever plan to do some sort of legitimate face reveal? Maybe one day, but for the time being, I will save you all from having to put up with my ugly mug. But I'm sure at some point in the future, it'll be something I think about. Maybe when I get to the point where this does become my full-time job and I've got nothing to lose, then I'll probably be like, fuck it. But until then, maybe not so hasty about that. Will you ever keep in a recording of one of those times your husband comes in joking around, like you mentioned in a video before? Oh yeah, because I said before, sometimes I'll be recording, my husband will burst in, and he'll be like, hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, because he loves taking the piss out of me. Well, I don't really cut them out. It's just that you can't really hear him, because I have the mic right next to my mouth, and he walks in, so you can't really pick him up on the audio even when he comes in. But if I ever catch him doing it on the sly, then of course I'll be naming and shaming him without question. Do you plan on expanding your channel even with your other job? Yeah. If people are still going to watch my videos, then I will always be making them. I don't know whether they will always be The Sims, or whether I would always only just have one channel. In an ideal world, over time, I would love to have multiple channels and just do YouTube full time. But, I mean, if someone were to say, hey Carla, you know that YouTube thing you do? You're going to be doing that for the next 10, 15, 20 years. I would be thrilled. So, yeah, I mean, regardless of my other job, nothing's getting in the way of YouTube. What cool skills or things did you learn whilst off the grid? Because I was recently in Colorado. I learned to be sensible when it comes to dressing for the climate. Because I decided to go to Pikes Peak, which is a massive fuck-off mountain in Colorado Springs. And it was quite sunny in Colorado Springs while I was there. So I went towards the top of this mountain, not really thinking about the fact that there was going to be snow there, and I was wearing sandals and shorts. And I looked like a right knobhead. You know when people are looking at you and you know what they're thinking? People just kept walking past me in their snow gear, and they kind of gave me these eyes that was like, oh, she wasn't expecting this, was she? No, I wasn't expecting it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be standing here in sandals in the fucking snow, would I? My feet were blue by the end, and the day before, my shoulders and my arms got sunburnt. So the minute I took my clothes off, I just looked like a depressed Dutch flag. You posted a video showing some cool storylines for The Sims, but do you have an all-time favourite save? Not really in The Sims 4, to be honest. I tend to just play whatever I feel like. I don't really put too much thought into Sims 4 gameplay unless I'm doing something for YouTube. My all-time favourite is actually in The Sims 2, which is my favourite thing to do is try and get all of the memories, like all of the memories that you can in the memory log, and then also all of the little pictures in the travel book, you know, like where you go to the tiki place and then you learn the fire dance and all the little things like that. That's one of the things I like doing, was trying to get as many memories as possible. And this is the last one, which has a cluster of little questions. Do you have all the Sims 4 packs? I've got all of them except Journey to Batuu, and that is not going to change. Which one is your least favourite? Well, I'm not going to count Journey to Batuu because I don't have that one, so outside of that, it's going to be My First Pet stuff. What is your dream pack? Probably Vacation, bringing back Paris, Egypt. That's what I would like to see. I really like the Snowy Escape pack because it feels like, you know, Japan, but I'd like to see some more vacation worlds because really we only have 2. I know that Snowy Escape is 1, but doesn't really count because you can go there anytime. So I would like to have at least a total of 5 destination worlds just for holidays. What is your dream Sims 4 world? If I answered that question a little while ago, I probably would have described Snowy Escape, something Japanese. But since that's already been done, I would probably say that I would like to see an underwater world. You know, like how they have hidden worlds like Sylvan Glade and Sixam. I would like to see like another portal, maybe in Sulani or Brindleton Bay, where you can, I don't know, go inside a cave and then go into an underwater world. That would be cool. That would be cool. Do you prefer Alpha or Maxis CC? Oh yeah, we had that one. Maxis. What are your must-have mods? I do have a video showing the mods that I can't play The Sims without. I'll leave a link to that in the white box above. To be honest, I'm always installing and uninstalling mods because there are so many fucking game updates, which I'm not complaining about, but mods go out of date pretty quickly, and the amount of mods I have, it's such a pain in the ass to go and re-download the latest version of every single one of them, so I tend to uninstall mods, go for a couple of weeks or months before installing it again, but the mod that I 100% cannot play without is MC Command Center. That's the only one I would say I need all the time. The others are really nice to have, like Slice of Life is good to have, but I can go like a couple of gameplays without it, you know. And what is the most unpopular opinion for this in Sims 4? I don't know if I have too many unpopular opinions. I know that I have noticed that with my comparison series, I did a series comparing The Sims 4 to The Sims 3 for base game and various packs. And I noticed that every single video that I gave to The Sims 4 and said that they did a better job than The Sims 3 had more dislikes. So I think people in general that watch those videos, they prefer The Sims 3, and I get it, right? I think The Sims 3 is a very good game, and when I played it, I loved it. There are so many things that The Sims 3 does better, and I think fundamentally it is a superior game to The Sims 4 in so many ways. But if someone said to me, you can either only play The Sims 4 or you can only play The Sims 3, I would say The Sims 4, which I guess is going to be an unpopular opinion. And the only reason I say that is purely because I prefer the build and buy, and also I really don't like the way the Sims look in The Sims 3. Everything else about that game is fantastic, but I'm the type of simmer where I like the way my Sims look. I want them to look a certain way. I put a lot of thought into their faces, their hair, their clothing, and I don't get enjoyment from doing that in The Sims 3. Despite the colour wheel, despite the fact that we have so much more in The Sims 3, I think it's purely just because time has passed and I don't really like the graphics of that game. So that's probably an unpopular opinion. Like I said, I agree, The Sims 3 is a better game than The Sims 4, but I prefer The Sims 4. That's probably the most unpopular opinion I've got. Alright, well on that note, I think I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much again for sending in your questions. I really appreciate the fact that you've taken the time to think up questions and leave comments, and it's all very overwhelming for me. This is all new for me. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you might know that the amount of subscribers I had didn't really move for like 8 months, so I really wasn't expecting to have this many new subscribers in such a short space of time. So I'm just really overwhelmed and grateful that you guys not only watch my videos, but you also took the time to leave a comment with a question for me. I appreciate that. I'm sorry if you left a question and I didn't answer it. I did try to answer as many as possible. If you have a question that you really want to ask, then you can always leave it in the comments and I'll try my best to answer it for you. And other than that, I think I'm going to leave it there. And I'll see you guys on Monday for my next video, where I will be having a little chat to you about my new Let's Play that's starting, which I'm really excited about. So I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.